everybody. Welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Today's topic is when your adult children blame you for their problems. They want to blame you for their problems. Before we get started, I'd like to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. Now, to get us started, I did pull a short video. Let's watch this video, and then we're going to dive right into this topic. When your adult children blame you for their problems. Here we go.
I'm one of those parents who woke up one day and realized that my children weren't as happy with me as I thought that they were. And to my surprise, just like everybody else, I was like, after all that I've done, after all that I've given, as much as I've loved, because they refused to take responsibility for themselves. They refused to take what was given to them, use it to their advantage, so that they can become a better version of themselves and be better than we were. So don't allow them to gaslight you and to try to blame you for their failure to step up.
This is for the ungrateful adult children. Your parents are not responsible for you. You have been manipulating your parents. They did something to you and you have not forgiven them. You have been holding this grudge over your parents for decades. And you don't even realize that it has slowed your life down. You can't succeed, you can't excel because you forgive your parents for whatever hurt that they imposed on you. What's worse is your parents have been trying to do everything to make up for whatever they did to you when you were younger. You will not move forward in life the way you want to with peace and love as long as you keep manipulating your parents. Because your parents want you guys to be cool. Act like you cool 5 days of the week. But as soon as you don't get what you want when you want it, put on that manipulation. And you remind your parents of the things that they've done to you. You remind them of things that don't really faze you anymore. But as a means to control, as a means to diminish, you manipulate your parents. If you keep doing that, you're going to need them forever. You're going to need them forever. And when I mean need them, I mean you won't excel the way you think you want to. If you have all the money, you won't have none of the peace. If you think you have peace, you'll have none of the money. Stop manipulating your parents, man. Stop manipulating your parents. They are getting older. You don't have too much time with them.
Okay. Now, as you know, I'm a single mother, and I do have adult boys. I didn't have any girls, but I had boys. And it can be difficult when children blame you for troubles in their own lives. And I do have at least one son who blames me. And to this date, I still don't know what the blame is for. You know, I can only speculate what it's about. Like you, when your children blame you for something, you try to apologize to them for what you think it is, but if they don't tell you what it is, you know, maybe they just don't like you because they don't like you. I have no idea what goes on in their heads, but I have been on the receiving end of blame. And what I did, I tried to apologize several times until I realized it wasn't doing any good. So I just let it go. Apologized that last time and let it go. Because the thing about it is when somebody blames you for something and you feel that burden because you feel like they are hurt because of something that you did. And so, of course, you want to rectify it, especially if it's your children. You want to be close to your children again, you see. But if they don't want to tell you what it is, you just end up apologizing for whatever it is. But you have to move on with your life. Don't sit in that blame because it will destroy you. Understand? Now, on the other part of that, your child who's doing the blaming, it's hindering their success in life too by holding that blame against you. You see, blame is a low vibrational energy, and it needs to be eradicated from your experience. Be willing to forgive. Be willing to forget. Now, I know it's hard to forget things sometimes, but be willing to forgive it. Now, for your children, now being a single mother, I kind of felt that maybe my son may have been upset because I left his father. I can only guess that's the reason because he never told me, what his issue is. You see, and my son is an adult with his own family now. And still, there's an issue. How do you overcome that, ladies? What do you do? Listen, I did my best to apologize, to get back into the graces. But sometimes your children won't accept that. So you have to just let it go for your own peace of mind, ladies. And I'm talking to you, single mothers specifically, because if you have a husband, then you have kind of a fortress. You have some support when your children blame you for things. But if it's only you and they're blaming you for stuff that sometimes you remember and sometimes you don't, and even if you apologize, it doesn't make anything any better, then you have to start loving yourself. All of that energy that you're putting into trying to solve this issue of blame, bring that energy back and start loving yourself and forgive yourself. Because when you are raising your children, and if you end up being a single mother, that's pretty devastating in itself, because that means that you are the sole provider for these children. Okay? For these children, because their father, has abandoned you and the children. So, mothers, it's you. You sacrifice. You give your all to protect your children, to feed them, to clothe them, to do whatever you know to do to raise your children. And I say that because you're only working with the knowledge that you have at that time. And at that time, many of us are young women, very young, starting out with these little babies. And then the man takes off. Many times you won't have family around, or family won't help. You're on your own. So now you are doing everything you can to love your babies, to keep them safe, and all of that. Nurture them, make sure they get the education they need, whatever they need, it's all on you. And for them to grow up under your graces, and then stand up and say that you are to blame for my life is the way it is. It's your fault. Ladies, don't take that to heart. Don't take it to heart. For many years I did. Many years. And my life didn't progress until I let it go. You must let it go. It's not your fault. You did the best thing you could with the resources that you had at the time. And many times, just starting out, if you don't have help from your family, the resources can be scarce. But still, you are doing the best that you can. And for these men to come out and say that the worst kids are the kids raised by single mothers, let me tell you something about that. There would not be any single mothers if the men were more responsible and didn't leave their children and the mothers of their children. There would be no single mothers. The dad would be there. So for men to say that sort of thing, I think it's kind of weak for them to make excuses like that. Because again, if a single mother is raising her children, if the father is present and supportive, I don't know if they just come out with blame, period, if they're going to blame somebody for if things don't go right in their life, it's beyond me. But many times growing up, your parents may do something to you that sticks. You can't forget it. It sticks. It hurts. It really hurt you. It would be great if you can get your child to open up about it. Open up about whatever the infraction was. It'll give you a chance to apologize, to acknowledge it. You know, it happened when it happened back then. I'm very sorry. You know, I've learned I'm not that person anymore. I'm a better person now, and I try to make amends for that. And many of you parents, when you know your children blame you for something, you do make amends. You continue to do it for the rest of your lives. You're still sacrificing to try to bring that kid back, you see. But a lot of times it doesn't work. They just get angrier and angrier and angrier. But I think a lot of that anger is inside of them, especially after they become adults. After you become an adult, you can understand a lot of things. You can, especially if you have your own children, you can understand how things can go in life, especially when your own children start blaming you for things. You see, then in hindsight, you can kind of understand. But why does it have to come to that? Ladies, that's my question. Why wouldn't your kids appreciate all the sacrifices that you've made for them? And that should trump everything. It should trump everything. And a lot of times these kids won't blame the absent dad. Oh, he just had a hard time, or he just couldn't cope, or he just whatever. But it's mom's fault why I'm not this. It's mom's fault why I couldn't do this. Things like that. No, ladies, don't take that blame. Don't take it at all. Let it go. If it's something that you feel like you were in the wrong and you can apologize for it with your kid, I advise you to do that. Apologize. You know? And if they accept it, that's great. But if they don't, let it go. Let it go. Don't keep begging. Don't keep pleading. Don't keep bending over backwards, doing everything you can to satisfy them, because now it has turned into manipulation. They are going to punish you now. You see, that's why they're holding that blame over your head, to punish you. Don't go for it. Don't go for it, ladies. Start loving yourself and forgive yourself. After you apologize, forgive yourself. And start working on yourself, building up yourself, doing the things that you enjoy doing. Strive to be the best version of yourself. See, we're all learning. Learning never stops. You got to keep learning and progressing and being better and better and better. And we have all made mistakes in our lives that we are sorry that we made those mistakes. You see, and you can apologize for that, but don't drown in guilt. Don't destroy your life because of blame and guilt. Let it go and rise above it. I hope you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps someone. Now, those of you who may have a question that you'd like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And if you're looking for today's affirmation, the link is also in the description. I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters, and a very special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best, and I really hope to see you next time.